Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain. Alright, so we're back for some more Ravenloft. This one here is Death House. Now to get here, it's just not too far from the inn. If you watched the previous video, I showed how you can use the inns and the taverns to travel to these quests if you don't know how to get there. So this quest here is Death House. And it is kind of a spooky and quite enjoyable. Alright, so let's call our hireling. Now, there is one thing I want to point out. There is an optional to pick up all the journal pieces. I will not be doing that simply because it does lead you a long way out of the way. And though it does give you a little bit of lore about the quest itself, again, it leads you so far out of the way that it's not really worth doing. Alright, so the first step here, we want to come in.
Small, distant voices spring from nowhere.
We're so hungry. Find us.
Alright, so if you want, again, to do those optionals, you can explore these floors here. So, like, for example, here's a note here.
They sent us to our room. They didn't even give us supper.
So you can talk this. As you see, there's a total of 10 of them. They give a little bit of insight onto what's going on. And as you can see for the notes themselves, it's not actually even showing us how much it's even given. But if I remember correctly, it's not a very large amount. So if you do want to do that, make sure you stop on each floor here, heading in. This is also where you'd go to grab your breakables, and you go ahead and pick up the notes. Let's see if it shows now. Nope, still nothing. Alright. Ultimately, you can stop to do that, or you can take the stairs all the way to the very top. So each floor, you'd want to stop.
Because there's a monster in the basement.
Check each floor for these notes. You know what, I'm doing it anyway. Let's just keep going. And you actually find a very dark history about the house.
They wouldn't mind the noises. They said it was just grown-up things.
Alright, so up another flight of stairs. Yeah. Now, once you get up here, as we're not quite there yet, we are going to start running into some enemies.
Not since Nanny went away.
Notes. Alright. So yeah, like I said, it does take a lot longer if you are going after all these notes.
Or they wouldn't be so angry all the time.
let's just continue on up. So you want to continue until you do get to the top floor. So regardless of whether you wanted to stop on all those floors or just run to the top, yeah, that choice is up to you. Alright, so I'm just going to poke my head in here to look for some notes. Honestly, I think I did it once when the content had originally come out, and I haven't bothered to since. Simply because it just takes so much longer, and again, I really didn't find it overly worth it. Alright.
Behind the stair. It's green.
So when you come to the top of the stairs here, you actually want to head off to your right and go through this door here. Through here you'll notice a giant dollhouse and a set of old bones. You actually need to interact with both of them.
You spot something in the
So you need
middle
to
of the
pick up the
room.
bones,
Something small and old.
and in the dollhouse here you gotta flip the switch.
We're tired. We've been here so long. We want to
Once you've
rest.
done that, you want to go directly across the hall through the door
We're tired.
where it will have
We want to
stairs
rest
down.
now.
Now I do want to point out sometimes you will have enemies right
It
here,
leads down to the basement.
so
There's
just
a
watch
monster.
yourself.
Beyond
And
the secret door, a
the
dusty stairwell leads down into dark.
yeah, so the stairs down. In order to get this is what that secret switch does. So this will be a solid wall until you flip that switch. Alright, so now that we're down here, I'm going to take you on the path that I normally take first, and then we'll go through and we'll kind of explore the rest of it. So the first thing I do, right here, so we'll stop at this intersection, we'll make a right, heading down south, and then an immediate left, right here. These are your 2 sarcophagus for the children, so we can lay the bones to rest.
You gently place the bones inside the coffins.
Much better.
The distant voice seems pleased.
We can rest here. Once you get rid of the monster in the basement.
Alright. Next thing I like to do is I turn around and I head up north. And I'll go through the door here. Now on this floor, so once you go down, we have to activate a total of 3 levers. Each of these levers are tied to a gate that once all 3 are thrown will open up. And of course we need to get through that gate to be able to continue progressing. Alright, so as you can see, we also have a couple of traps here. So we got one on the wall here. We got one on the wall here. And then we have our lever. So this is our first one that we need to pull. From here, if we actually head around the outside edge, we come across a locked chest, which will just contain some free loot. Now I want to point out, on epic level difficulty, these chests can also contain filigrees, which are used to essentially upgrade weapons with new effects of your choice based on which filigree you choose to add. And they go into sentient based weapons. Alright, so from here we're going to continue on through the western door into this room, which will have some spiders and just some random rats. Once you kill off the spiders, the rats don't really actually attack you. Once you kill them off, we can grab our second crystal, which is right here. And I'm just going to do a quick check in the rooms here themselves. Make sure there are no notes. Alright. Now from this point, we want to head through the door to the southernmost door, which will lead us back to where the children were. But rather than head directly to them, we want to make this first right here, heading south. Now, do be careful, as they will have some traps. Now, there are 2 boxes for this trap based on which side you are coming in from. So the side that we chose, we have a box right here. There's our trap in the center. They also have a second one right here as well. At this point, we can head straight across. And turn right here. So at the very end of the hall, head south. So in here, towards our collectible, we have a whole bunch of zombies, which will get up. Now be careful when killing these zombies, as when they die, they drop one of their arms, and not always when they die, just sometimes when they're damaged, their arms will break off, and then be another enemy to kill. So just watch out for that there. Alright, we have another note in our cauldron. A few more breakables. And then finally our last of the 3 levers. Now if we've gotten all 3 at this point, we will be able to exit heading south and run into our gate here. Inside we will see both a note and a tarnished key on the table.
On top of the desk,
When you
find
touch
a
the key,
tarnished key.
it opens up this little door, which has 2 orange named undead enemies, so they can be turned and insta-killed. Inside the room itself, we have a secret door towards the back, with another random chest for us. Alright. So now we're going to make our way to the northern section of the room. And head out. So now that we've gotten the key, it's also going to spawn in some wraiths, which we'll run into right here. Now, we're back at this section here where our trap was. If we continue heading south right to the door, it's going to spawn in a bunch of skeletons. So again, just be aware so you're not caught with your trousers down, as it were. And then proceed through the door. This will allow us to head down into the basement
You can smell him.
and continue further. So now that we're finally down here in the basement, we will have our last note. As you can see, just over 700, not a lot of XP, and ultimately not really worth it for the extra time it takes to go get that. So once down here, we do have a shrine. We do have a gate. On the other side of this gate,
Of chanting echoes from down
at the,
hallway.
I guess, altar and, you know, all the constituents there, that will be the end fight. Now, in order to open up that gate there specifically, we do need to head down this path. So it's a very short path, and there it is there. So there is a trick. As on the way down we do have these grates, which will open up spawning in skeletons. To avoid that, you can actually send a hireling, if you have, to go pull that lever. Now the second they pull that lever, you want to use the summon to you command, so these little footsteps. So there he is pulling it. We're going to call him to us. There he teleports right to us. It's a way to get it done quick. As you see, they don't quite know where we were, and you don't get any aggro. However, I'm just going to kill him anyway. But I wanted to show you how and give you guys that option if you were wanting to skip this section here. Alright. Once that lever is pulled, it does open up our door to our final room. I'm just gonna give us one of these and a poke our head in here. So the moment we get in here, nothing really happens. We can actually summon a turret and, you know, prepare ourselves. Once it starts, here we have our big bad boss. As he takes damage, he will start spawning in more enemies, twig blights and vine needle blights, famine reapers. And they will come after you. Now, one thing to point is the boss there himself is too large to actually fit down this hall, so he will never actually come down the hall. However, obviously the needle blights and everybody else is small enough and will come at you. So just be careful. I tend to fight near the shrines. That way, if for whatever they do happen to get the better of me, of course I'm right here. And once I'm done, take out the big bad boss. That's it. Super simple. And we did get Onslaught, which is nice. After this, all that's left is to grab our loot, which again can have some really nice at-level items. So I'm actually going to do some rerolls, see if we can't get some. So there's Negotiator Spectacles. Obviously, if you use Diplomacy, we also have Subtle Target, which once per minute when you use Diplomacy, you gain 100% Profane bonus to Threat Gen. Or negative 100, so nobody wants to attack you. You know, so they do have some interesting named items, some handy ones for all sorts of classes. And yeah, so we'll just go ahead and recall. Once you recall, you gotta make sure that you talk to the person outside the quest and actually turn in. From there, go ahead and select recall again, and that'll actually take you right back to the tavern here. So grab loot, we'll recall, and again it'll take us to our tavern that we had come from, and at that point we can then talk to Irina, who will tell us our next, where we gotta head next. For example here, now we gotta head to Fresh Baked Dreams, and then again we can just teleport right there. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I love this content. I love the music, the ambiance. It's just, I just honestly favorite content. I'm totally speechless, and I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I have. Alright, thank you for watching. Have a good one, all.